Hey, Pinheads, do you ever wonder what would happen if horror villains faced off? Well, so do we. So, what we've done is we've taken 22 of the most badass horror villains and put them at random on a bracket. We will have these villains face off one battle at a time until we reach the ultimate number one villain who would win it all. If you haven't done this yet, please subscribe. If you like what you're seeing, please like. Also, please comment. We always enjoy seeing what you have to say. Thank you very much. Do that shit.
All right,
Hey,
all right.
Pinheads, welcome back to Psychopinion. Nope, I gotta start over. He fucked me up.
I didn't realize you were pinheading it.
Hey, Pinheads, welcome back. We are working through our horror villain bracket. This thing is a lot of fun. I enjoy these brackets that we do. I think a lot of people out there listening and watching get into these as well because it's just it's a fun thing to think about. We did horror movie directors before, and now we're doing horror villains. And we've gone so far through quite a few battles at this point in time. We're working our way up to the semifinals. As far as we go, Liza at this point in time has guessed 6 correct and 2 wrong. She is at 6 wins and 2 losses. Steve is at 3 wins and 5 losses. And I am trailing Liza by just 1 with 5 wins and 3 losses. With that being said, we have seen quite a few battles and quite a few upsets. And at this point, I feel like I'm going to stop summarizing them because you should be watching them in order the way that I post them. So from this point on, I'll put up the brackets and you can see who won, but I will no longer summarize. All right.
Okay.
With that being said, this particular battle, battle number 9, is one of my all time favorites. We've got the Candyman, Tony Todd himself, the Candyman, also who has recently passed away, like Sid Haig. And Tony Todd, in my opinion, has contributed so much to horror. And I just have to take a second to say, thank you for all of that you've brought to horror, Tony Todd, and may you rest in peace. You're a legend, in my opinion. With that being said, and us moving on before I get emotional, well, let's go ahead and talk about the attributes we have here for these 2 characters. Now, in a previous one, you probably already saw we talked about Samara, so I will keep that a little short and just kind of give you a little summary here. We're talking about manipulating electronic devices, inducing suicide, demonstrating abilities like why do I have a hard time saying it when it comes to her? Teleportation, telekinesis, and even control over water. Okay. So with that, she is taking all of that and going up against my man, the Candy Man. With him, he's got immortality, superhuman strength, the ability to teleport, phase through walls, control over bees. So we've got water and bees, guys. It's really interesting, and that reminds me of that scene in the Burbs where they're getting chased by the bees and they have to run to the water and.
Hang on, man! Run to me! Run to water!
No, anyway, awesome scene in the Burbs. Watch the Burbs. That's a great movie. Kind of a horror comedy. All right, so anyway, he has control over bees and a sharp hook in the place of his hand. Okay. So, where do you start with something like this? I think. Do you guys want me to go, or do you want to go? Does anybody else have an opinion on this
Yeah,
one?
considering this is your man crush, why don't you go for talk to me, man?
I've got a few man crushes up here. This is probably my man crush of the man crushes, but I definitely have a few up here waiting. Warwick Davis as well as Tony Todd, Sid Haig. I got quite a few, but yeah, I'd be happy to talk about it. I think the Candyman wins this one, and not just because realistically, if we're talking just brawling here, right? If we're talking just brawling here, nothing's going to really happen. We're going to be at a stalemate. What we're talking about here is we're talking about 2 basically supernatural, characters, not creature characters, that have similar abilities. They're going to go at each other and kind of realize they're getting nowhere. However, I feel like the Candyman is to me, comes off as a very intelligent villain. And Samara does have a way to be defeated, and that's basically by figuring out the whole curse and taking her down. Now it's kind of funny to think about what that would entail as far as the Candyman doing those things, but I think that if this battle were to go on and on and on and on until somebody won, I think the Candyman would take it because he's intelligent and there is a way to defeat Samara.
Well, I don't think it's going to be like that. I think that the Candyman is going to have a soft spot for her.
Oh my God! Why is everything like a romantic comedy for you with these?
No, not like a romantic comedy. I think like he's like a fatherly.
Like soft spots, and everybody's got.
In Liza's world, all of these villains meet up and they just hug. Like actually, Pennywise and Jaws, that whole battle really ended up by Jaws being like, "Hey, Pennywise, I see you're not really a great swimmer. You want to jump on my back and I'll get you around?"
No, I think that he like a fatherly, not like a romantic. I think like fatherly, and I think that he's just gonna take her under his wing, and they're gonna go off and team up together.
Who do you think would win between the Snuggles and the Michelin Man, Liza? Awfully squishy. Maybe the Pillsbury Doughboy too. He's soft. Got a lot of things going for him. I'm going to say something that's probably going to piss Jake off. I was never a Candyman fan.
I feel like that deserves a response before you continue.
Yeah, go for it.
Now the thing is that if we're talking about straight up, what is a scarier movie to me, to Jake? Mm-hmm. The Ring is a scarier movie than Candyman. Like, don't get me wrong. Straight up, The Ring creeped me out the first time I saw it. It really did. It was a creepy movie. Candyman, I remember maybe being a little creeped out by him when I was a little kid, but my love for the Candyman and for Tony Todd isn't necessarily out of how scary the movie is or the fear. It's just there's something about his character and something about Tony Todd even more so that he's always commanded my respect and love as far as a actor, as far as a character, as far as a horror icon. I'm just drawn to the Candyman. I don't know. I've always really enjoyed his character, his acting. A lot of the things that you gave praise for are the things that I love him for. I'm not by any means whatsoever. I'm not saying Candyman is scarier than The Ring. That's not a fact at all. So,
well, I know, and I'm not saying that either. I'm just saying that his character is not one that is a scary character. Like I don't fear him in any way at all. And I'm not talking about like I really don't. In the same way, I fear him as much as I would like Ghostface or something. I just don't. It's not something that would scare me. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of hard to backtrack from, but
no. I mean, I get what you're saying, but to me, it's kind of like the presence of the character. It's the aura of the character. It's like there's just something about him as a character, which is where I fell in love with Tony Todd as Candyman. But him as a character, him as an actor, his voice, the way he carries himself, the way he handles himself as a human being, and especially the character in that movie. There's just something about him that I don't disagree. Felt like it commands,
I don't disagree with any of those points. I think they're all valid points. But how, if this was who's a better ball or something, then yes, maybe Candyman wins. But this is about in a war between Samara Morgan and Candyman, who wins. And I don't see Candyman as much of a threat. I guess I'll just put it that way. So even though I think that this is a tough one too, because I was surprised that Samara beat right out of the gate, because I thought Jason Voorhees had more of an iconic backing than that. To be taken over by that. But
and I should have clarified this a little bit more in that episode, but if you're watching these in order, hopefully I can clarify it for you right now. Based on the scores of franchises, Friday the 13th did not do as well in those brackets as people would think that they do. The Friday the 13th movies do not score well in Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb, in comparison to The Ring, and in comparison to a lot of movies, honestly. Everybody knows Friday the 13th. Everybody loves Friday the 13th, blah, 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 blah. But I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, it's not the popular vote. And people can argue with me all they want, horror fans. But I mean, I'm taking all these scores from legitimate places. I'm not making these numbers up.
If you're like me, you're probably wondering, how do these guys know who actually win these battles? Well, I'm going to go ahead and give you a little bit of insight to that. I had a bunch of horror fans fill out surveys based on such attributes like likability, kill, style, creativity, danger level, uniqueness, how iconic they are, their backstory, appearance, and their movie or franchise likability. Besides these scores, I've also taken the scores from the IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes, as well as other websites that rate movies, and taken all the scores from their films or franchises, along with the survey numbers, and did all the math stuff.
I will go Candyman just to spite the fact that Samara took out Voorhees, who I had moving a lot further along. So, and into a matchup that I really wanted to see, which is not going to happen now. So I'll go Candyman. What the hell?
Okay. Candyman it is. Liza, they can't be friends. You got to pick one.
Samara.
Okay. Liza is with Samara. Steve is with Candyman, and I think we all know what I'm going to do here, and I'm going to go with the Candyman. My man, the Candyman. The Candyman can. That's a different Candyman. That's Willy Wonka, but it still popped in my head, so I decided to go with it. Let's tally the votes.
Please wait while we calculate the results.
Fight! Apocalypse! Killing frenzy! I demand a sacrifice. Finish him! Game over.
And the winner is...
The Candyman.
Candyman mixes it with beef and makes his hook taste good. All right.
Candyman can.
makes his hook taste good.
I don't
So,
know.
so Steve, the Candyman did actually avenge Jason Voorhees for you. So,
That's good. I appreciate that.
and with that vote right there, I just tied Liza. Liza and I are both at 6 wins and 3 losses. Steve is creeping up a little bit right now with 4 wins and 5 losses. So we're it's still anybody's game. We still have a little ways to go here, guys, and this is really interesting and shaping up to be quite some good battles here. Now, with that win, the Candyman winning there, that does move him along to in the next round. When we get to the semifinals, Candyman will be facing off against Freddy Krueger, which I think is going to be a pretty interesting match. We're going to have to go ahead and keep going to see who's going to win this thing, guys. You might be surprised.
Hey, Pinheads, if you're listening to this, you've been watching our 22 bracket horror villain face-off. I would encourage you to continue to watch, because we've got a lot more coming. We will find out who the ultimate horror villain is. Please subscribe if you haven't. Please like if you like what you're seeing. And please comment. We would love to know who you think would win in these battles. Also, make sure that you keep an eye out in the future, because we will be doing more of these brackets, and I would love to get your opinion. We will be putting surveys out there, and you can be a part of this. And your score can matter as well. Thank you for watching. See you soon.